I started my 3D printing journey when I decided to design and print my own board games. I started with Catan because that's a pretty common one that a lot of 3D printing enthusiasts begin with. After that, I made Bubble Tea Monopoly, Zombie Dice, Azul, and a few other ones as well. But here's the thing, I realized I didn't play with any of these board games pretty much at all, because as it turns out, all the games that my wife and I really like to play, we already have them in a physical copy. But here's the thing, when you have a 3D printer, you can upgrade the board games you already have. And in fact, if you go onto Thingiverse or Prusa's Printables, there are tons and tons of designs out there for free of people who have upgraded their board games. After I decided to upgrade some of my board games, I downloaded a whole bunch of them and I printed a whole bunch of them. So I figured what I do in this video is I would just showcase to you some of the best builds I'm currently using in my board game setup. Okay, so starting off with the most simple one, this is just a Uno card holder. My wife and I bought these Uno cards from Japan on our honeymoon, and they're really cute. They're just Uno, but with Pokemon themed cards. That's all it is. Uno itself is just a game of cards, so the 3D printing upgrade for this one is just the case. It's really, really convenient for holding all your cards. That's literally all it is. And that's all it is. The second upgrade I'm going to show you is Wingspan. Wingspan is one of our favorite games. We actually have the expansion pass, that's why this box doesn't necessarily fit that well. The main upgrades for this with 3D printing is this case, as well as this thing. So if you ever played Wingspan, you'll know that it's very important to keep track of your seasonal goals. And your tracker is basically just a piece of cardboard. It's not very great because the cubes are always going to move around, and if they move around, it's very easy to lose track of who's in which place.
It's just nice to have some dividers on the seasonal goals so it doesn't move around during the game.
So this I'm already really happy with, but it's not the only thing we 3D printed for Wingspan. I also 3D printed this upgrade. It holds all of the food in place and also has 3 storage spaces that fits all of the nectar. Furthermore, there's one more thing in here, and that is the golden egg. This golden egg says 3 on it, and you're supposed to treat this like 3 eggs. If you ever played Wingspan with more than just 2 people, you'll know that the eggs tend to run out at the end of the game. The rulebook says itself that if you run out of eggs, you can always take a food token and place it on your bird to represent an egg. But it doesn't look very cool, so if you 3D printed a whole bunch of golden eggs like this one here, it makes tracking just so much easier. This is pretty much the entirety of the Wingspan upgrades. I have just the seasonal points tracker and also this case for the eggs as well as the food. If you want to upgrade this further, you can. So if you want to attach magnets to these parts as well as these parts, you can actually make this a magnetic seal. For me, I didn't think it was really necessary, but it's something you could do if you want to upgrade and go the extra mile. And next up, we have Dominion. So my wife and I got the original Dominion game from a club event back in university. And after that, we decided to buy one expansion pass because we liked it so much. The expansion we bought was Hinterlands. So the original base game, which comes in a box like this, and each of the expansions all have the same size box. All the contents of the board games plus the expansions can easily fit into one box. And that's what this 3D printed upgrade is. It basically takes the original base game and organizes with the expansion passes to hold it all into one box. This design can actually hold 3 expansions in it, but I only have the one. So as for the actual design, it's pretty simple stuff. It's 2 types of prints. We have the case prints, which are like these. They're actually meant to hold the tokens if you ever get one of the expansions for Dominion where you needed tokens. But I'm using currently just trays for the base game cards. And they also have these, which are just dividers. They hold all the cards in place, and like I said, the fact that they are just literally right next to each other means they save way more space than the base game's plastic cutouts. So I think this is a pretty simple but a very, very convenient design for the Dominion games. And that's Dominion. Next up, we have Cascadia. This is a pretty simple game that my wife and I won at a bouldering gym of all places. The game itself is just basically building a kind of a map, and this is the 3D printed upgrade for it. It's kind of just a case insert, so it comes in a whole bunch of different pieces. Let's start with the most simple one. This is just a box that has the logo Cascadia on it, and that's all it does. It's meant to hold all of these in one place. If you're wondering why the tokens still need to be kept in a bag, during the actual gameplay, you're supposed to take the tokens out without looking at them, so the bag is just better for making sure that nobody sees it. Next up, we have the board pieces. So these are the animal tokens / land tokens, and they are very neatly organized in this little tray here. And no, it doesn't move around or anything like that. So very, very convenient. Organizes gameplay, holds everything in place. After that, we have the starter piece holders. These are the starting pieces for the players. They fit very neatly right here. And this is another box. But this time, the box actually contains all the Pythons. And one thing to note for this is this could also be upgraded, because if you put a magnet on there and over here, this too could be magnetized. I didn't really see a need for it because it's already neat enough. And finally, we have this piece. This piece basically holds all of the score trackers on the top, as well as the game point settings on the bottom. Because this is an insert, it fits everything perfectly and it's neatly in the box. And I'd say this is a huge improvement from the base game's cardboard inserts that you get when you first buy the game. But it's just organization. Okay, next up we have the Betrayal at the House on the Hill. And this is a insert / some just quality of life improvements. Quick thing to note before we get started with this one, there are actually 3 different designs in here. The first thing to note is they're just trays for the cards, but they're very convenient. They hold the cards in place in a very neat manner, and they look kind of cool because they all have designs of their respective card symbols at the front. So the second thing I'm gonna go through is the box here. And let's start with the most basic. So this is just a holder for all the house pieces. So during the game, you will place down card pieces whenever you enter a new room. Having them all organized in one place is just nice. That's all it is. Then we have 2 of the rectangular pieces, and these just hold items. For this one here that I have in complete green, it just holds all of my rolls. So you have sanity rolls and might rolls there. And then you have the item pile full of their numbered item pieces, as well as the knowledge roll on the bottom. For this one, it's a bit different. This rectangular pieces actually holds all of the tokens. Very, very snugly in place.
There's also these grooves,
which prevent this from moving around too much. And on the bottom, you have all the dices held into place. Following that, we have just this thing here. This is just a spacer. I'm using it to hold some of the extra plastic pieces I don't really use during the games at all. Following that, we have a holder for the Omen tracker that also holds the starting map piece. And finally, we have this one large giant box. At the top here, we have a whole bunch of game pieces. So I personally like to keep all of the pink, indigo, and yellow pieces at the top with some monster pieces on this part. And then in these baggies, I have some of the staircases, as well as the closets, the wall switches, these things you can apply to the game. The reason these are in baggies is that there's actually not enough boxes to hold all of the pieces separately by themselves. If I go to the next row, you see there are more monster pieces on the bottom. That's pretty much all it is. And at the very bottom, we have the character pieces. The bottom case itself already has a bit of etchings, so that this basically stays on here even during the game when you move it around a bit. Now, while we're here, the final thing I'm gonna show you is this. These are character trackers. The original base game actually came with these plastic pieces that are meant to be stuck on the side here. And this is how you would keep track of how much of that stat you have. And it's convenient enough. However, it's not a perfect system because this is plastic, this is cardboard. So if you put this over here and you move it up and down enough times, the plastic will actually eat into the cardboard and ruin it. In fact, I actually had to tape over one of these because it just started eroding away at the cardboard too much. But this is why I printed these things. So instead of using those plastic pieces, you would put this right here and then you would turn this to the stat that your current character has. All in all, it's just much more sustainable because the cardboard won't get ruined, and it's just much better this way, honestly. And that is Betrayal at the House on the Hill. Next up, we have Small World. Small World, my wife and I bought with actually a roommate of mine back in university, and we really liked it. In fact, we actually got one expansion for it as well. So after you open up the game and get rid of the manuals, you have the maps. The maps fit perfectly snug into the case insert. And if you take them out, you have the main upgrade here. The main upgrade is just a series of trays for the original game, but it also holds space for all the expansions available. I didn't get to use this too much because we only have the one expansion and not all of them. The first thing to tell you about is this tray here, and it holds all of the lost tribesmen on top. You can also hold your king item here. There's hordes, hobbits, holes, heroic, and dragon. If you have more pieces, you can also leave them on the bottom and hold them that way. After that, we have the main creature tokens. You can basically see whichever tokens are here very easily on this 3D printed holder. And there comes with two of them because, as mentioned, if you have any expansions, the other token pieces will fit perfectly here. So it's just using the space a bit more efficiently. Cards that represent the creatures as well as their traits are over here. And if I just show you here, it's kind of empty. Tons of room. If you have the expansions, you can lay them on top here and they will hold all of them perfectly in place. Next up, you have the map upgrades. These are just holders for the mountains, camps, fortresses, troll layers, and also the adrenaline dice. They're very convenient. But the most convenient thing here is this. If you ever played Small World, you'll know that the base game came with a plastic insert that doesn't really help you organize the coins that well. It's such a pain to go through because the holders for the coins it's literally just one slot. And it's so annoying to keep everything exactly where it is. Since these are also the victory tokens that count at the end of the game, it's very important to make sure you don't give people the wrong one. Having a tray of this during game is a huge quality of life improvement. This, I think, is the best part of this entire build. And it's simply just a tray for all the coins. But that's basically the entire build. And that is Small World. And finally, we have Bang. This is actually a completely original design, though I'm not entirely sure others are going to get benefit from it because, well, let me explain. Whenever my wife and I go to a friend's place for board game night, we usually bring a whole bunch of board games with us. It's oftentimes really annoying to bring a whole bunch of board games when their boxes are so wasteful for space. And that was true for a lot of the games we owned that were kind of small in nature. And by this, I'm referring to Bang, Taboo, Sushi Go, Coup, and Exploding Kittens. All of these games have a whole bunch of pieces and a whole bunch of boxes that really are more empty space than anything else. So I decided, just for convenience, why don't we put them all into the Bang box? So how I went about this was, first I took all the board games apart and took a look at what I actually needed for the board game. So of course you don't really need a box for any of these. So for Bang, I took out these pieces. They are meant for, actual gameplay. You're supposed to put your card here and then equip all the stuff there. And you're also supposed to use bullets to signify how much lives you have left. But these aren't really useful because the cards themselves have bullets on the back that you can use as trackers. And you can just place all the equipment you have in front of you. And in fact, I have never used these after buying Bang, at all. So I realized that these were not really essential for that game. For Taboo, my friends don't really care much about the actual game. We've never used the buzzer and we've never used the case. We've basically just taken the card, have someone stand in the front and have them be shadowed by someone else from the opposite team. You don't really need much outside of the cards. So all of these things, including the dice, which we never used, they're all completely useless. We have no need for it. Taboo is basically just some cards, and this is the entire box of Taboo, so it's a huge waste of space. For Exploding Kittens, this is the box, this is the tray, and just see how shallow this tray is. The cards for Exploding Kittens, honestly, very, very little. So the entire tray dedicated to that, it's a huge waste of space. Sushi Go is actually the most efficient. Card holders are actually pretty deep in depth. That's because there is actually quite a few cards for Sushi Go. And of course, then you have Coup. Coup is just some cards plus some tokens. Unorganized, they fit really well into this cardboard box, but organized, you'll see that it actually takes up very little space. If you open this up, you're met with a whole bunch of instruction manuals. Oh, and also there's munchkins in here. I forgot about that. Pull up on the side, you have the Exploding Kittens set. And this is all Exploding Kittens is. They're just some cards. We didn't need that box at all. This is all you needed for the Exploding Kittens.
The audio cut out a little bit for this part, but I'll just explain that the love letter also fits in this box.
Under this, we have Sushi Go. It just holds all the cards in place. Very, very efficient for space. Following that, we have Bang. Bang was the second worst offender after Taboo for being the most waste of space, because the entire game could be fitted into this. That's it. But instead, they gave me this entire box for all of those useless pieces we never actually used. So I just designed this holder for it, and it holds all the cards really, really nicely. After this, we have the rules of Sushi Go, as well as some of the cards for Coup, and also the rule book for Exploding Kittens. And then you are left with the Coup card. The Coup cards kind of fit really well just here by themselves, and the fact that the cards are so stacked together actually means this also acts like a lid for the game pieces. The pieces for Coup are just these tokens. I originally did have a design to include a lid for here, but I realized it wasn't really necessary because the fact that everything is so tightly packed means that this almost never comes loose at all. These are just tokens for Love Letter. The Munchkin set, once again, this is all it is. It's just a card holder that holds it all in place and prevents it from mingling with the other cards. That's literally all it is. And finally, we have over here the Taboo cards. This is the original Taboo box. This is the game. It's a huge waste of space. This is what I built for it. It's just 4 divided compartments with a lid on it. If I place this on the bottom and put the Munchkins in place afterwards, and then place the Love Letter cards here, or tokens there, and then put the Coup token on top of it, and then place all of the instructions for Coup on the bottom. Then we have the Sushi Go back in here, like so. And then the Exploding Kittens on top of that. And finally the main Love Letter game here. And the Bang is actually tilted here just because this actually fits here perfectly. And this is a box of a whole bunch of games, all compacted into one thing. So when we go to our friend's place, we just have to bring this one box instead of bring all of those small boxes. That. And that is the Bang box. All of the 3D printed upgrades I had in these boxes were made from PLA and printed on my Prusa Mark III or my Prusa Mark IV. They work completely fine. I have no troubles with material. If any of these designs caught your attention, I will link in the description below all of the places I got them from. And that way, if you want to, you can download them for yourself and upgrade your own board games. That's pretty much for this video. Happy printing!